he has one job. His job is to open your guard. After the guard is open, he will try to pass. He can try to go for foot locks and knee bars and things like that, but the main objective for the person on top is to pass your guard. So every time he's in your close guard, there isn't really any efficient way to attack you from the top. In the early belts, in your early start of jiu-jitsu, you might try to put pressure in someone's neck. If he doesn't know what he's doing, he might not get away with it. But once you leave once you achieve a certain level of jiu-jitsu, there is no attack from the top. If the person on top tries to attack you, he's just going to expose himself for your attacks. So his main job is to open your guard. That's the one thing that he has to do. After the guard is open, now it's even. He can attack and try to pass. But as long as he's inside the closed guard, there is no attack, no really efficient attack to do. So he has two things to worry about: defending himself, and next job is to open your guard. So when you have someone in your closed guard, your main job first is to keep the closed guard on. The longer you can keep someone in your closed guard, you're in an offense position. The person is defending himself. And after you can, keep him in your closed guard, then you worry about attack. So sometimes people make a mistake that they want to attack, they want to rush to an attack too quick. The guard stays open, and then it's an even game. Now he's threatening to pass your guard. As long as you can keep him in a closed guard, there's no threat. So it is a very safe place to be. So that, before you attack, work on keeping your closed guard, and then you attack. So that's what we're going to look this time. We're going to look in some different ways to keep the person in your closed guard. So keep your closed guard on it, and then progress to the sweep or submissions. So with this, seriously, hopefully you're going to, make your jiu-jitsu better by keeping the person in your closed guard longer, and then working for the submission. The closed guard was always a very strong part of my game ever since my early stage in jiu-jitsu. And I think when I was a blue belt, ever since I was a blue belt, I remember having a very strong closed guard. I think the fact that I'm quite tall, it helps. It does help. If the person is very short and you're fighting someone much taller than you, it's difficult to do. It's very difficult to develop your game in your closed guard. But if the guy's he's slightly shorter, or you're higher or bigger, you can use as a very strong part of your game. So, hope you like it. Since I was a blue belt, the closed guard, it helped me a lot. It was a very strong part of my game. So, hopefully, after this series, it's going to be part of your game too. Okay guys, so now we're going to work to maintain the closed guard. That's the first thing you should worry about. That's the first step to make your closed guard better. So there's two ways that the person can try. There's a few differences, but mainly, either he's going to try to open your guard kneeling down with both knees on the floor or with one leg, or he's going to try to stand up. Sometimes you can get the knee between your legs, but that's for shorter guys, that they will find the space for the knee to come in between your legs. But mainly, is either he's going to push your leg down, or he's going to throw your arm inside. So the first thing that you have to worry about is to block the person opening, kneeling down. You have to make it impossible for him to open your guard as long as he has at least one knee on the floor. And the next step, the only way left for him is to stand up. If you look, for the more experienced jiu-jitsu fighters, they all stand up to open your guard. Against a good guy, it's extremely difficult to open your guard with your knees on the floor. With both knees, it's almost impossible. If you're any high-level guys, if you try to open the guard with both knees on the floor, it's not going to work. That's a white belt move. If you're white belt, sometimes up to the blue belt, that's the latest you would try to open someone's guard kneeling down. Then you will realize it's too difficult against someone good. The only way left is to stand up. Once the person stands up on your guard, now he's in a very strong position to open. Because as long as he's down, you can use your big muscles to defend, to resist, with the one he's trying to push or to go in, and he's much closer to you. So he's in a much more difficult position. You know, he can get attacked a lot more. Once he's